Dolomite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
Reggie, I feel like a lot of people discovered these movies on video. And I feel like you were responsible for turning a lot of people on, because in both House Party and Bebe's Kids, you gave great shout-outs to Rudy Ray Moore, and I think a lot of people, that was their, that was their first knowledge of who this guy was, and people started looking for him. And how did you stumble onto Rudy Ray Moore, and what was your first experience with Rudy?
Well, I grew up in the 70s in East St. Louis, Illinois, which is a town very much with the Rudy Ray Moore sensibility. It's the kind of place where you can go to a record store and you can get a copy of Eat Out More Often. And, I mean, it was certainly outsider art. I mean, even in the realms of, a guy like Red Fox, even pre-Sanford and Son, was in the realm of acceptable party records. But then you had Rudy Ray Moore and Blowfly, who were in the realm of, like really inappropriate party records, which is what they call kind of X-rated comedy albums. And, Rudy would have album covers with naked ladies on it. And that's not such a big deal today, but back then it was very much a big deal to have a naked lady, let alone to have an album called Eat Out More Often.
Or This Pussy Belongs to Me.
So,
Mama.
obviously, this is a very knowledgeable crowd, I can just tell by looking at you. But, obviously in the wake of Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, the idea of, hey, we can make our own movies, we can make our own political statements, our own aesthetic statements, kind of burst in a lot of different directions. So, I mean, Sweet Sweetback was an independent film, and not a lot of people have seen that film, but it's actually a very avant-garde movie. And it kind of created two movements. One of them was sort of the mainstream Hollywood response, which is Shaft and Superfly and so on. But then you had folks going, no, I'm going to do it independently. I'm just going to make my own movie, which is what Rudy and all these fine gentlemen did. They just made their own movie. They made it their own way. They really made a handmade film. And I think that's why the film is so resonant today, because you just go, this, they left all the edges on the movie, and that's what's fun to watch. It speaks of a singular sensibility that makes it a hoot. So it made a huge impression on us growing up when we were kids. I mean, the same way we also love, White Mama, Black Mama, and the Rosie Greer, Ray Milan movie with two heads and so on. Blackenstein, Black Gestapo. So shooting House Party, we were saying, well, what would Robin Harris be watching at home on TV? It just seemed appropriate to put a little Dolomite in there. So, you just really can't get enough Dolomite, and he fits into pretty much anything. So we put him in House Party, then we put him in Bebe's Kids. We even have a Dolomite clip in Great White Hype, because, it always gets a laugh. It's just always entertaining. And I also remember talking with a video distributor in the 90s, and they were talking about convincing video stores in non-urban areas to carry black films from the 70s, and what a fight it was. But once distributors would carry those films, they would outrent a lot of the contemporary releases, because they still had a huge audience, and a huge audience across very many boundaries. So the point is, what makes a good movie, right? A good movie is a movie that you enjoy. I think we enjoyed this movie tonight, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Black Dynamite guys, I don't know if people have seen this movie, but it's unbelievable. What's great about this new film is that in a way it's like Dolomite, which Dolomite is a comedy, but it also plays it straight. And that's one of the great things. I mean, there's been a lot of parodies of blaxploitation films, but what's great about your movie...
Red Fox is much older than all of us. He started off first doing what we were doing, and he was the first one he broke through. Richard Pryor is in between me and Red Fox. He come along with a satire and got the industry to involve itself in him, and he made it very good. But Red Fox was the first of us. That's how he come along as big as he was.